Hi YouTubers, Writer here, and today I am going to show you a hat I'm making with the flat stitch. You don't typically see this stitch talked about much on YouTube, so I wanted to show you what I was doing, how it was going, and I don't know if you can see that, I am at 69 rows, and it's just about ready to come off, but I'm going to show you what a wonderful stitch that makes. It's so tight. Here's what the inside. And I'm doing this in front of the camera. I hope you can see that well. And let's compare it to the other hat that I did using the regular E-wrap stitch. Now this is about 36 rows and it's finished. So let's see. Let's compare. You can see it's a much tighter stitch. This one is kind of lighter, airier. You can see through it. And this one is just nice. It's tight, it's even, and because you're going all the way around, you don't have that seam. You can see here, when you're doing the E-wrap, you usually end up with a seam like this larger area here between, because when you get all the way around and then you knit them all off, your last one's going to have some extra yarn. Because you just keep going around and around and around, there is no seam. And let me show you just how easy it is. Now again, I'm doing this behind a camera, so it's much easier when I'm sitting in my chair and doing it in my lab. But all I'm going to do is hold that over, and I kind of put my finger between the two stitches, between the stitch on the peg and the one above it. But do not keep the yarn from moving, because if you'll watch this stitch, it's going to kind of go in like that as we wrap it. So just kind of lay this, make sure you have plenty of slack, and then as you lift up and go over, I'm doing this slowly, see how that pulled that yarn above my finger? Okay, watch that again. Watch as it pulls the yarn above my finger, and you're going to let it, because this is such a tight stitch already that you don't need to make it even tighter. And you simply go around, bottom over the top, all the way around, and you keep going around until you've made it the length you want for a hat. Now I'm not happy I did the E-wrap cast on before I decided to do the flat stitch, so I'm going to go on. I know there's a video that tells you how to pull that tighter. I think it's by Loom hat. Her information will be in the... Sorry, I got interrupted. Alright, I don't like the cast on. I did the E-wrap cast on before I decided to do the flat stitch, so I'm going to go... I believe Loom hat has an instruction on how to pull that tighter. I'm going to go and try to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and get this off the loom. I think it's about the right length. I'll measure it first, and then I will show you what the finished product looks like. Oh, also people have been asking me about my pick. This is the pick that came. This is a Cindy Wood loom with 59 pegs, and I think they're 3/8 of an inch apart. I'm not positive. It might even be less than that. It came with the Cindy Wood peg, but I bought these two pencil holders and put them on them, and it gives it a soft, that's really squishy, a soft squishy texture for your hands. And this metal thing was really loose inside the plastic, so I just put a piece of yarn in there with it, and it made it really tight, so it's not going to come out at all. Alright, so now you can see the side-by-side difference. This is the one using the flat stitch that I just showed you. This is the one using the E-wrap. Now the E-wrap took 36 stitches, but you have to remember, for each stitch you're wrapping once, and then you're pulling up over the bottom once, you're knitting it off once. So that comes to about the same number of revolutions on each one. The knit stitch has a very smaller stitch, and it also does not have the seam that you're going to get in the flat stitch. So this is my favorite. It's much quicker. You just keep going round and round the loom. It's much easier. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. Please rate and subscribe.